What's up, everybody? This is Investing Sensei bringing another episode in the series of how many shares of a certain company or ETF do you need to own to make $1,000 a month, $100 a month, and even $100 every single week. So these videos are definitely fun to record. I do have this list here, guys, that we are going in order. These are a list that you guys have provided. So if there's one you don't see on the list or that I have not covered in the past, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to add it to the list and we will eventually get to it. But in this video, we'll go over the ETF or stock, look at the performance, what they do, and then we'll pull up the dividend scorecard and just pull up the calculator, crunch the numbers, and wrap it up with the dividend yield, see when the best opportunity was to invest or is to invest in this ETF or stock. But in this episode, guys, we will be going over VOO, which is the next one on the list. So I'm going to pull up Seeking Alpha. We do have VOO. It's Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Currently trading about $367.88. If we actually pull up the fund profile, just so we can read a little bit about them, Vanguard Index Funds, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is an exchange-traded fund launched and managed by the Vanguard Group, Inc. The fund invests in public equity markets of the United States. The fund invests in the stocks of companies operating across diversified sectors. The fund invests in growth and value stocks of large cap companies. It seeks to track the performance of the S&P 500 index by using the full replication technique. Vanguard Index Funds Vanguard S&P 500 ETF was formed on August 31st, 1976 and is domiciled in the United States. So you guys can see the fund details. It's a fund type, U.S. equity. Issuer is Vanguard. Inception was September 7th, 2010. Expense ratio is actually very low. Typically the Vanguard ETFs are very nice for the expense ratio. They're typically the lowest, but it's 0.03%. And then assets under management are 275.35 billion. And then you guys can look at the rates of return, but this is basically tracks the S&P 500. If we go back up here, guys, we can actually look at the year to date, see how they're doing. We're actually up, or I guess it's up 5.11% on the year to date. On the 1 year, guys, it is down 7.91%. And then on the 5 year, it is up 39.69%. Pretty great return so far. 10 years, they are actually up 165.73%, and then the total year they are up 255.92%. This is typically the best type of ETF you can be invested if you're more of a passive income or invest and forget. Typically you get some pretty great returns on this, and especially since it tracks the S&P 500. But you'll see 52-week range here, guys. 52-week low is 319.87%, and then 52-week high is 426.17. This is right around trading around the middle of the 52-week range of both of these. Expense ratio again is 0.03%. Dividend frequency is quarterly. Dividend rate is $5.95, and then the yield is 1.62%. And then again, assets is 275.35 billion. Pretty awesome there. If we pull up the dividend scorecard for it, guys, you guys can actually see on the dividend summary, dividend yield is 1.62%. Pretty low. Again, typically I try to like the 2 to 3% dividend yield. And then annual payout is 5.95, so $5.95 for each share of this ETF that you own. You get $5.95 throughout the year. 5-year CAGR is 6.137%. Dividend growth is 2 years is what this shows, but Seeking Alpha has been known to have this value incorrectly. They do payout frequency is quarterly, and they would pay you $1.67 for every share that you do own in this ETF. You would get paid this every 3 months, so pretty cool there. Let's go ahead and pull up the calculator, guys, and we can start crunching some numbers. So first one we're gonna figure out is how much of this ETF do you need to have invested, or total amount, to make $1,000 a month from this ETF. So you want to make 1,000 every single month. There's 12 months in a year, so total annually you'd have to make $12,000 in dividends. You can actually divide that by the annual payout, and this would actually give you the total number of shares you need to own. So to achieve this, you need roughly around 2,016 shares. You can actually go up here, multiply it times the current share price, and this would give you the total amount right now that you'd have to invest. And so it comes out to be $741,942, and you'd be roughly making about $1,000 every single month from this ETF. So pretty cool. Again, quick way that you can calculate this is take the 12,000 that you need to make annually, divided by the dividend yield. So right here we would do 162, and you see we roughly get about $740,000. Quick way to do that, but again, there's a thing that I do need to work on once I save time. There's actually a lot less capital you would have to appreciate, or I guess invest, if you do have time on your side. If you're investing for 5, 10, 15 years, you would actually require a lot less capital. Definitely gonna be working on a spreadsheet to do that for us, but I just need to make some time. The next one we want to calculate is, hey, how much would you have to own of this company to make, or ETF to make $100 every single month? You could honestly just take the previous answer we got and divide it by 100, or no, divide it by 10, and you should get the answer. But let's go ahead and just do it, because it's pretty fun to crunch the numbers. So we want to make $100 every single month, multiply it times 12. We need to make $1,200 annually, so divide that by the annual amount they do pay out, which is $5.95. This would give you roughly around 201 shares that you'd have to invest of this. And then again, if you multiply this times the current share price, $367.88, you'd get roughly around about $74,194 that you have to invest in this company to roughly make about $100 every single month. That'd be pretty cool. Again, quick way to calculate this is 1,200 divided by the dividend yield. Again, there is quite a bit of money you'd have to invest in this, but again, this is an ETF that has a very, very low expense ratio, and it also tracks the S&P 500. So you see that we do have roughly around $74,000. Pretty awesome there. Let's go ahead and do the last one, guys, which is how much of this company would you have to have invested to make roughly about $100 every single week. I think that would be pretty awesome if you could get about $100 from this passive ETF. But we want to make $100. You want to there's actually 52 weeks in a year, so you can multiply that. So roughly about 5,200 is what you'd have to make annually to achieve that. Then you divide it by the annual payout, which is $5.95. So roughly we have to own about 873 shares. You can multiply that times the current share price, $367.88. And you'll see we roughly have to have invested a huge amount, which is about $321,000. And then again, quick way to calculate this is do the 5,200 divided by the dividend yield, and you'll see we roughly get about $328,000 that you'd have to invest in this company. Pretty cool, guys. Great ETF. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video by looking at the dividend yield. You'll see this is the dividend yield. You'll see that it does fluctuate depending on the time. So typically the higher the dividend yield, the better entry point for this ETF would be for you in the long term. As you'll see in the 2020 crash, there was at a dividend yield of 2.59%. pretty awesome starting dividend yield, and you see that it did start moving downwards, and that is because this ETF started moving upwards in the capital appreciation, and it slowly started to actually move up, and that is because it has actually been down slightly, and then potentially we could create a great buying opportunity for this. We will see what happens, but I am not invested in this ETF yet. Let me know if you are. Super awesome Vanguard ETF with a very low expense ratio, and you get super diversified, so pretty awesome ETF. Let me know if you do own it in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe with that notification. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so definitely help me out. As well, drop a big thumbs up on the video, and let me know any new companies you want me to add to the list. I'll be happy to do so. I will talk to you guys later. Take care, stay safe out there. Bye guys.